What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So, we are back for Beyond the Gate season. How many more episodes we at? Honestly, because I know we'll probably be almost through with the season once we get to the anniversary party. But yeah, this is season 1, Beyond the Gate, and I think this is episode 29 to 33. Okay, is it 29 to 33? Girl, hold on. Let me confirm with myself. Is it 29 to 23? 33? Yes, 29 to 33. First of all, I almost thought I was about to say, where is the other episode? Because it's after 1 o'clock. It should be up on Paramount. It wasn't up. It didn't show up until probably like after 3 or after 4. Either way, this is the first time that I watched it on time. But, I binge watched it at work because I ain't had nothing else to do. But anyway, so let's just get into it. And I'm not about to be on here that long because this week's episodes really didn't give that much, but we are venturing into a different storyline, okay? And this is now involving Martin and the kids and Smitty. All right. All I really want to talk about, first of all, again, I have to say it. I love me some Anita and Vernon. Anita and Vernon, they really are, the calm, cool, prevailed heads, wisdom, you know what I'm saying? They're the most positive people on the show, okay? They give it the positive aspect. Love it. Love them to pieces, okay? But at the end of the day, when it comes to Martin, I need to go, listen, who he killed, who he took out, okay? Who he took out. Did he have an episode where, either, because we keep on seeing this flashback. Every time we see him, he's having a freaking dream. He's waking up. And the way that he screamed at Smitty, like, get up off me, get up off me. I was like, hold on. Okay, now I know you was in your little dream or whatever, but also he being a little bit too disrespectful and flipping to the mouth when it comes to Grandpa Pie and Grandma Mine. And I just don't like that. I just don't like that. Because when we first saw him on that very first episode, it's, Grandpa, you were so this and so that, and you laid the way, led the way for me and for my family and for all of us, and to see that you were down there actually fighting the fight for our people, and you just so encouraging. To now, who you talking to? I shouldn't came over here and asked y'all nothing. So now you want me to do what? I said, excuse me, Martin. Martin, stop it. Stop it, okay? You named after Martin Luther the King. He wouldn't talk to his people like that. Why are you talking to your people like that? I said, you better calm that down. You have got to calm that little flipping tone down because this is not the first episode that he did that in to the grandparents. He did it a couple of times, and I put it on the back burner, but I don't know, something about this week when he did that, because I was like, again, what is your issue? Put it out there. And the grandparents was basically like, because he came over there to them to talk to them about the fact that Smitty keep on asking him what happened. Okay, what's going on? You can't get in your feelings because your man is asking you these questions and you tired of people this and tired of people that. That's your man. And that ain't just your man. That's your husband. That's your baby daddy. Literally. Okay? And y'all supposed to, if anything, y'all supposed to be the one that had that open line of communication. Smitty shouldn't have to wonder what's going on and why you keep on having these dreams and you waking up finna box him like he's some stranger on the street instead of the man that you've been with for the last 10 years or so. And I'm just sitting here like, what? And the grandparents is like, at this point, this is why we don't want you to run for the president. Because if you do all of that, your stuff gonna come out. So maybe the fact that you keep on having these dreams and, Smitty keep asking all these questions, maybe it's about time for you to just go ahead and, let the man know what's going on, okay? What you want me to tell him? You want me to do? I said, you better calm that down. Calm that down, Martin, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you didn't have this big-ass secret like the grandparents said, it wouldn't be weighing on your ass. But also, it'd be worse if you start to run for president or any other higher office, they're going to dig so deep into your stuff. They're going to dig in your guts, okay? And they're going to find it all. They're going to find it all. And you forgot that you do have Bill Hamilton in your family who helped cover up whatever it is that you did, you know? And so wouldn't you rather your husband know and your kids know what happened instead of it coming out in the gossip and, the get you gotcha of the political arena, and everybody and their mama just coming at your throat? And not only do you have the world coming at you, judging you, you got your family judging you because you never told them what was going on and you never prepared them for that. That's basically what I felt like Grandmama and Grandpapa was getting at. Okay, you being all flipping with them and everything. And at this point, Vernon and Ania know that stuff ain't going to get better. It's not going to get better. Listen, he going to wind up hurting somebody if he don't go ahead and say what happened. Now, in the dream sequence that we keep seeing, it's dark at night, dead at night. It's a car. Okay, we seeing car, we seeing tail lights and all of that stuff. And yeah, you did something. Did you hit somebody? Were you drunk behind the wheels and you hit somebody and they covered it up because of who you were? Was this when you were running for political office and that's why they need a bill to cover it up? Did it have something to do with the fact that your grandfather is who he was? Was this when your grandfather was a senator and you didn't want that stain on the family or whatever? Either way, Martin, you need to calm that mess down because you got the family in the biggest pickle right about now and we don't even know what you did. Okay, but we can infer. Now you need to calm that down, all right? Meanwhile, speaking of them, Terrell really is getting a little bullied. Well, I ain't gonna say a little bully. He getting bullied, okay? Because that is what the issue was last week when we talked about it. Somebody took a picture of him in his drawers while he was changing in the locker room and sent it to this girl, and her boyfriend saw it and, beat his ass, okay? Again, I feel like that's sexual harassment, unintentional, because if she wanted to say that it was sexual harassment, I would feel like she has a case to say that because, you gave me a picture of you in your underwear that I did not ask for without my consent. But at the same time, it was taken without his consent, and it was sent without his consent. So now he's in trouble. Well, not necessarily. He was in trouble with the boyfriend. Okay, and now they done took pictures. They took that picture and they made memes of it, viral videos. Listen, kids are so cruel today. And you know what? Kids have always been cruel, but I feel like in this day and age they are way worse because the internet has become so advanced. All right. They will post something on, at first we just had Instagram. At first we just had Twitter. Baby, TikTok, okay? I feel like things will get around way quicker on TikTok than anything. I feel like that's the app that all the kids are on, TikTok and Snapchat. But, the sister, Samantha, was getting text messages from a friend saying, oh, girl, the people's seeing it is getting around. And she was like, who? The friend said, everyone, okay? And I was just like, ooh. Well, maybe you just need to open up your mouth and tell your daddies what's going on, okay? They did try to talk to him, and that just, how kids are. And I do feel like when Martin and Smitty had that comment, that conversation, because Smitty did his little investigation, tried to see what was going on, and when Martin found out that basically something is happening, but he needs to go up there and find out and all that stuff, and take care of it, Smitty said, calm that down, because then your son gonna be looking at you like, damn, you don't trust me enough to take care of my own stuff and, all of that shit. So it was like a lose-lose situation. This is one of those situations where, in their minds, you just got to let him go through it. You just can't. Because, and it's so crazy because that really is how it is. Like, you get into a situation, you want them to stop bullying you. You don't want to tell your parents, because if you tell your parents going to come up there, make a scene, and then you don't know which way it's going to go. You don't know if the bullying is going to stop or if it's going to amp up because, oh, you had to go tell mommy and daddy. Told you, kids are cruel. Okay, kids are cruel, all right? Meanwhile, you got Samantha. Oh, Lord have mercy. Samantha gonna be the one that we need to watch, okay? I mean, I'm okay with her going this route instead of her going a whole nother route that could be way, way more dangerous, because at least she got a couple of people that are watching out for her, and that's her auntie and her cousin. But at this point, that little girl getting on my nerves a little bit. Now, Samantha, it's cute that you wanted to be up there, see your little cousin, your big cuz, you know. And a lot of people, their cousins are their like first friends. You know what I'm saying? And so she admires Chelsea and Kat and them. You know, they doing the little fashion show. They're getting ready for the last fashion show that Chelsea will ever walk. And so, you know, Chelsea was like, you can help me out. The daddy surprised her with Chelsea, you know, letting her help her out and, you know, being at the fashion show and all that stuff. And at first, she was just going to do control the live streaming and all that. But then she was able to actually, you know, participate in the fashion show. Now, let me tell you something, Miss Samantha. I get why you want to be a model. Because, baby, when you came out there in that dress and you walked down that runway and you was giving two, baby. You ate that up. You ate that up. You ate Chelsea up. And she was supposed to be the professional. I said, all right, you better fucking do that, Miss Samantha. And that got to your head. That got way to your head. You know, to the point where she telling Samantha, Chelsea, she want to be a goddamn model. Okay, that's cute or whatever. I didn't know the girl was 16. I thought she was up there about to be a senior in high school or was a senior. So I believe that Terrell is the one that's the oldest, right? She's 16, baby girl. You probably got a couple more years left in school. And yeah, you got these ambitions now, but Pop said no, okay? She didn't convince Chelsea to be her manager after Chelsea just sat there and told her all of the good and the bad, and most of it was bad and how it was stressful, and that still didn't deter the girl, okay? She still said, that's cute or whatever. Oh, this person, trigger warning, your friend had an ED. Oh, okay, well, that's fine. She eating now, right? Oh, okay, that's cool. I still want to be a model. I would eat my vegetables, eat my fruit, eat my this, eat my that, and you know, I still want to walk the runway. You know what I'm saying? I still want to do what I got to do. I said, you know. You know what? And I said, you can't really be upset at it because that's literally how kids are. Just doing the absolute most. Don't want to pay attention because they think they know it all. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know, she did ask Chelsea to be her manager. Chelsea said at first she was a little concerned, but then she said, all right. But let me tell you something, Chelsea, this is where you messed up at. Especially after they had that conversation. And then Martin went down there to the country club to talk to Danny about it. And Danny basically said, you got to make that decision, right? And he wound up telling Miss Samantha, girl, absolutely not. Okay, I love you. I know that's what you want. But his concerns are valid, though, as a parent. It's you get into this business and, you know, people taking advantage and then the way that you're young. And of course, you got predators everywhere in just about every profession, but especially in the modeling profession, you know, and they picking you apart in your self-esteem and all of that stuff. That's what his concern was. Okay, you're a little bit too young for that right now. All right. So she gets on the phone and she gonna call Chelsea and say, you know, well, my daddy's didn't really say no, but you could be my manager. Come on over to the crib and let's get some stuff talking about my career. Danny pop up because Danny thinks she finna be the girl manager. Chelsea pop up at the same time. Now, Chelsea, this is where you messed up because Danny had the conversation already with the daddy, right? But at the same time, Chelsea, you didn't have a conversation with Martin. You ain't have a conversation with Martin to see if this was really okay with him. And that's what you should do because, again, she's still a minor. She's still a minor. You're not the adult in this situation. Martin is the adult. You may be of age and all that stuff. I don't know how old you are. You're probably in your 20s. I might pull. That is bothering me. But anyway, you're not her guardian, okay? Martin is. And so you should have called him to get, you know, approval, right? And say, Uncle Martin, is this okay? Is this okay? Or Cousin Martin, is this okay? Or whatever. But no, you didn't do that. You didn't do that. And at this point, Samantha, you're gonna get yourself hurt. Okay? You're gonna get yourself hurt. Samantha need a whooping. Alright? Samantha needs a whooping. She needs to look. Alright? A little pat, because she is she's about to go on her rebellious stage. And you know, yeah. And speaking of Danny, so Danny did do the little she hosted the what was it, the fashion show or whatever for the charity. And basically they was raising money to get to this one particular charity that was, I think it's called One Gen or whatever. So it's basically kids that are going to college for the first time, first generation of their family going to college, and so it's money and scholarships for them. They raised over $500,000. I said that's cute. That's a cute little nice little thing. And so it went off without a hitch. It went off without a hitch. At least Danny thought. Danny get to the country club the next day or whatever. The head of the board for that goddamn charity that she did the freaking fashion show for, Hannah. Now, girl, you know you wrong as shit. Now, I'm gonna break this down for a minute. Hannah sat there and told Danny, basically, after Danny sat there and was like, oh my God, I had so much fun at the fashion show, and I got so many more ideas of how we can expand on this and do all this stuff. And one thing about Danny, when she say she got ideas, Danny been thinking about it. Danny got a book for it. Danny can be in details, because Danny ain't got shit else to do. Okay, so she Terrell. She gonna give you something complete, right? Miss Gurley said that's cute or whatever, but I wish you never, I wish you didn't do that, because we're going to have to fire you. You're no longer on the board. Mind you, at this point, we have not seen Bill and Haley the whole, probably like, they came on the 4th episode, and it was only for this particular scene when they was in the country club. They went there to eat. He went there to eat with his wife just so that she can get some food at the country club. Again, especially after what happened, they sit down in a chair right across from Danny, right? So I'm Danny right here. They looking at Danny just like this. I'm like, okay, that's a little bit weird, and okay, I would have wanted my seat changed. I wouldn't want to see her, after all of this. But then when the waiter came out there to get his the order, he was like, hey, Mr. Hamilton. And Haley was like, hey. And then Haley was like, hello. Dude said, so can I take your order, Mr. Hamilton? He said, yeah, I want this. And Haley was like, well, and I can have. Dude was about to walk off. He said, hold on. Sir, come back here. I'm going to do what they do back in the day, and I'm going to order for my wife, okay? She want that chicken Caesar salad, so you get her that chicken Caesar salad, okay? And he said, okay, Mr. Hamilton, once again, completely ignoring Haley. My whole thing is like, if these people do not want you there, you can't force them. You can't force them to want you there, right? Regardless of what you think is about to happen to Danny, it's not as bad as what you think. It's not the get you gotcha that you thought it was, okay? Because they don't even acknowledge your presence, even in the presence of your husband, who they still acknowledge. Which I don't understand why they acknowledge him too. Because I would have completely ignored his ass too. But again, Bill do got connections up in there, so that's probably why. But at the same time, Haley, I wouldn't even want to eat there, because especially after seeing that right in front of my face, and you too, Bill, I would be scared that them motherfuckers was spitting in my food. Like, what? You trust it? No, I ain't got time for that. And so when that lady Hannah came over and told Danny that you ain't in it no more, now Danny did get a little loud because she was in her feelings. Because listen, bitch, you mean to tell me you decided to keep me on to keep this to complete this fashion show for you, right? And then you want to take me off after I did what I did for the club? That's basically what they wanted her to do. They used her for labor. Used her for labor, okay? And Danny was appalled. And so that's why she got a little loud. So of course you got Bill and Haley looking like, oh shit, she getting fired. Look at this. Now she know how it feels to be an outcast, just like me. Okay? Listen, I hope this happens and all this and woo woo woo. Now mind you, They have the nerve to get up and tell Danny, well, it so sucks to actually see you get fired because I know that's what you liked and you mean you ain't got nothing else to do and all this stuff. And, Haley, you making it big in your chest and trying to, gloat about it. And like Danny said, bitch, you and me are not the same. Bitch, you still got my sloppy seconds and the motherfucker still don't goddamn respect you. Okay? Regardless of what just happened with me, I'm still gonna rise and I already got another plan in place, okay? But at the end of the day, I can still hold my head high, baby. You can hold your head high and they still won't acknowledge your ass, all right? And I'm sitting here like, Haley, how did y'all think that this was a downfall? It wasn't. It wasn't. Now let me tell you something, Miss Danny. Okay, because what Miss Hannah did probably in the way that she did by keeping you on and, letting you do that fashion show for him, yeah, you could kind of say that was wrong. But her firing you and kicking you off the board, and she didn't do it in a disrespectful way, she wasn't wrong in that. Because in the bylaws, it said, baby, you can't be doing shit that's going to embarrass us. And what you did at that wedding was embarrassing. Had it not got out in public, on the live stream and all that shit, you probably would have been a little bit safe. Probably would have, gave you a little suspension, whatever, if that's the case. But no, girl, it got out. So technically speaking, that is unbecoming of a member. So, and that's, bringing shame to the thing and, unwanted negative attention and all that stuff. And if that's in the bylaws and she didn't do anything wrong. She was just following the policies and the laws of the club. So you should have just ate that shit. But of course she had to tell her mama. Cause when mama came up there, Anita came up there, she was like, bitch, I know you knew. Cause they don't get nothing past you without you knowing. And she was like, wait a minute, girlfriend, you better calm that shit down. First of all, I had no idea. But let me tell you something. I take care of it. I said, now, Anita, what you about to do? Anita had Hannah come over there to the crib. Girl, Hannah up there thinking that she finna get something out of Vernon, to help with the club and all this stuff, whatever. Anita said, absolutely the freak not, okay? What we gonna do is, I'm firing you. The whole board that we got, I'm kicking your freaking charity off, and I'm gonna make a charity of my own under the Dupree name that's also going to be for what? First generation students going to college. I said, bitch, she said, so you gonna kick me off and make a damn charity that's just like mine? And she said, abso-fucking-lutely. And guess who I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get Danny to run it. You know what? That's the type of nepotism I'm here for. Okay? That was some straight up fucking nepotism. And Miss Anita, I'm gonna be honest with you. You knew damn well Hannah had every right to kick that girl off that damn. Y'all just don't want to lose. And you know what? I would be, listen, I'm conflicted. Because again, Miss Hannah didn't do nothing wrong. You were bold coming up in there trying to ask for some assistance and some help with your little charity after you just kicked that daughter off. You could have at least waited. But at the same time, she was following the policy. She had to follow the law too. Okay? She had to follow what the rules said, And Anita, you knew that. But see, y'all Dupree's so used to not having to play by the rules and nobody going against you. And if you feel, slighted by them, you got to get them back real bad. So let me just tell you this, and I'm going to be real honest. If that was a white woman coming at her like that, I would have been 100% for it. And I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, Anita, get her ass. But it wasn't. That was another black woman that was just trying to follow the goddamn rules of the club. That's just it. Like, what? That sounds so bad. And I can see, and it ain't got to be a white woman. If it was somebody that was coming disrespectfully to your daughter. And that's not really what happened. And your daughter did shame y'all. You even said it yourself. That's what y'all was saying, girl. So which one is it? Okay? But that was cute. If my mama don't ride for me like that, I'm like, I don't give a damn if you know that I'm wrong. You better still ride. You better ride like goddamn Anita and Bernie Dupree. Okay? That's what you better do. Meanwhile, this whole situation with Eva and girl, Nicole had to cuss Kat out. She saw that camera up in her room, in her office, and she was like, listen, girl, I already told you. Leave Eva ass the fuck alone. Okay? Leave her the goddamn alone. Okay? And I was like, yeah, Kat, you messed it up. Now, see, girl, you on the right track. You on the right track, but you about to veer off. You've been veering off course because you started off real wrong. But at the same time, Eva is not going to be the enemy. I feel like Eva is going to be the one that's going to come through and going to put her mama on blast, okay? Now, let me tell you something. Dana, Leslie, Sherry, Anna, and this other new one, the nurse, bitch, you got your... She got to go. She got to go. Baby mama got to go, okay? Because, listen, you're doing a lie. You're doing a lie, but she is a perfect villain right about now. Ted is sick of her. Ted gave her that money. Ted said, because popped up at her goddamn apartment. And he was like, oh, yeah, so you're not the only one that could do the little stalking shit. I found out where the fuck you live at. Okay, take this goddamn money and go. And it was like, oh, okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So he was like, and I send my lawyers. And she was like, yeah, send your lawyers to do this or whatever. And the way that he said something to the fact that about the abortion was like, he didn't know that she was getting an abortion. He was told by the lawyer or whoever, or even her, that she was getting an abortion because the lawyers or whoever in his circle told her to get the abortion. Like, he didn't know nothing about it until afterwards. That's what it was implying. Either fucking way, he don't know that he got a child out here. And the way that, the way that she is out here acting and portraying this to Eva is as if this man knew that she existed and deliberately just, decided not to be in her life at all. And I'm pretty sure Eva is putting two and two together after being around them and seeing that he just wouldn't do that. He just would not. He's not the type that's gonna not be in his kid's life, even if it is an outside baby. So, and just like Dana, Sherry, Leslie, Anna said, you should have went with me or had the lawyer go with me to get the abortion. Make sure I got that bitch. And he should have set up, something about that should have clicked in his head that, what if she did it? Okay? Eva popped up, but Eva left before she could get caught by Ted. And at this point, Eva is about over it with her mama. Because Laura, we ain't seen Laura since episode 2. Okay? Since episode 2. Laura popped up a couple of times this week. Bitch, I said, why is Laura still up in the goddamn hospital? For a little broken leg or whatever. You mean to tell me you can't recuperate at home? How long what the hell is going on? Girl, nah, she came back up there for a follow-up and a follow-up surgery or whatever. And then come to find out, she's supposed to be coming back to work real soon. Oh, they can't let this happen. She got introduced to Eva. Eva told her mom, and she wasn't even really telling her that on the way to do something to her, because Eva still don't know that her mama was the one that did what she did to put Laura up in the goddamn hospital, right? So mama gonna go put her wig on, act like she was a fake nurse, went into Laura's room and put a whole bunch of potassium in her IV to cause her to have a heart attack. I said, oh my goodness, a cardiac event. I said, oh my goodness, are you serious? Now see, let me tell you something, girlfriend, you gotta go. You and your silk press is doing a lot. Your silk press and your Tyler Perry wigs are doing an absolute most, and I'm just not liking it, because at this point, I can see you going after Ted. Okay, that's cool or whatever. You feel hurt by him. You giving Fatal Attraction. Understand, I guess. But now you're going after innocent people that don't know shit about this. And that's including Nicole. And that's including the family. I can get that you want to hurt the people next to him, his family. But at the same time, it's like, you hurt Ted. You hurt his family. And you doing all of this because you say, oh, so this is to get you Eva back where you belong and, your birthright. What is her birthright? What is her birthright? Kat is getting this, was going to get the stuff with his firm or whatever, but she's into the designing thing, so they don't know what that's going to do. Is that what she into? No, she's into cosmetology. Okay, listen, that would have been nice. Now, would have been nice. You got Eva doing hair. You got Chelsea and Kat doing the fashion. Y'all come together and put up, help come together, put some hair products and some clothes and all that together. Y'all can have a whole empire together. That could have happened if they knew that they were sisters growing up. You know what I'm saying? But they did. And at this point in time, Dana, Sherry, Leslie, Anna, you better hope that DNA come back and that girl is his goddamn child. Instead of the way that you acting. Because at the end of the day, you doing all of this and you want to embarrass him in front of his whole family or whatever at his anniversary and his wife. Okay. You want to do that just to get your daughter back up in the picture. And we seen this happen. People don't know who, and we see it on TV all the time. People don't know who this person is or whatever. They all extra nice to them. And then when you find out that, oh, they supposed to be part of the family, this a illegitimate child or something like that, or somebody contesting a will or something, whatever, they can turn on them. So now you're really setting up your daughter to be basically disrespected, to be shunned again, and be like, oh, bitch, you just coming in trying to get some money and all this stuff and woo, woo, woo. Ain't no telling if, Nicole gonna turn cold to her because she gonna look at her like, damn, you a kid and you a constant reminder of the fact that, I have to now realize that my husband had an affair on me. You know what I'm saying? Ted can turn cold and be like, oh, bitch, you already knew this shit and you was up here playing me. Like, Dana, you not thinking about all of this. You thinking the short term. You not thinking about the long term effects, and you not thinking about A, B, or C. Like, she's so goddamn dumb and she's so selfish. It don't make no damn sense. And that's why your daughter about to turn on you because you was up there at that nursing station and Shanice caught your ass and you lying up there to her. Shanice then told her daughter, let me tell you something. I love me some Shanice. Shanice was on that phone gossiping and giving the tea to whoever it was, what, and then he got fired from the goddamn board. Now, truth be told, she should have been on there because, listen, she deserves a goddamn award and she deserves some flowers and all this stuff because what she did with that and all this, I said, I know that's right. I didn't think everything that happened, but I'm sitting here listening to Shanice tell the story like I don't know nothing that's going on, like I ain't just see this. I'm sitting here like, girl, you know what, you right, yeah, bitch, like I'm on the other side of the end of the phone, but yeah, Dana, you gotta calm it down. And then she's such a fucking manipulator. You really think your mama gonna do some stuff like that? Cause even confronting her. You think that I'm crazy enough to do some shit? Yeah, bitch. And then for Ted to actually admit to Andre that, because Andre was like, man, I'm so glad that I got you to look up to, because at least I know that you not like Bill with his dirty, cheated ass and all that stuff. And he was going in on Bill. And Ted said, no, you stop that. I said, hold on, Ted. Bill is all of those things. And he was like, no, I can't tell you that. You can't be saying that because you can't look up to me because I'm exactly like Bill. And he was like, what you talking about, uncle? And it's like, because listen, bitch, back in the day I cheated. I had an affair on your mama. On your auntie, you know what I'm saying? We was going through some rough times. And, it was a whole bunch of miscarriages and all this stuff. And I'm hanging out with the friends and, my frats and all that. And I was just like, a frat, bro. With them turtlenecks, I just know you had to be a Kappa. But, yeah, I was just like, And he wound up telling me, yeah, you got her pregnant. She got an abortion and all this stuff. I said, ooh. He said, you know what? Putting that out there finally feels some type of relief. I said, what? You didn't put it out there to the wrong person. Meaning, not your wife. So I would still feel like, oh my God, anxiety. What? And you want to know who else? Baby, I don't know what they're going to do with Doug. Doug, you're about to lose your wife and your whole family because, and your job. You are gambling so much that it is affecting your work, your actual work. He is at the poker table and he gets a phone call about a boy that got into some type of accident and they needed a cardio surgeon ASAP. He didn't really want to leave that poker table. He finally left that poker table and he get up in that office. He doing the surgery, I should say. And the motherfucker is just spacing out. And I said, oh my God, he is open. What, in the Grey's Anatomy? Oh, and speaking of Grey's Anatomy, y'all heard about Eric Dane? He got ALS. Dr. McDreamy. No, is it Dr. McDreamy? No, that's Derek Shepherd. Dr. McSteamy. Oh. I hope it don't be so hard on him. But anyway, yeah, just he was like, you can finish this. I said the heart is right there in your hand, and you gonna tell me to finish it? No, you finish it. I said, you know what? You're gonna kill somebody on the operating table, and Vanessa's gonna be over there fucking around with Joey and Diego. Vanessa about to have a threesome with Joey and Diego at one point. I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. But yeah, that was what happened this week. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I feel like I hit the main points that I needed to talk about. Martin, again, Smitty, cheat on him, okay? Mr. Man with the glasses that wanted to get you that story, go ahead and get with him, because at this point, Martin is getting on my nerves. You doing a lot. You so goddamn tight. You know, loosen up your booty, okay? Your booty hot, cause you got it clenched, unclench, and breathe, nigga. All right, damn, be a little fun. But anyway, that's this week. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. I got 2 more reviews to do today. Probably today. I'll see y'all later. Peace.